Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an Extreme Glass Cannon Shadow Weepinbell in the Great League. Weepinbell is a grass and poison type Pokemon with the moveset of Bullet Seed, Power Whip, and Sludge Bomb. For the first few matches, I tried out Seed Bomb, but you definitely want the damage of Power Whip, as Power Whip from a Shadow Weepinbell does a truly insane amount of damage. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Shadow Weepinbell in action in the Great League. Hopping into the first match, sending Regirock into Azumarill. This is not a great lead. I'm going to save switch into Trevenant, and my opponent responds with Sableye. Not the greatest matchup ever for Trevenant, but Trevenant definitely has play. I go straight for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball gets a shield, and I get a Shadow Claw through as they throw. That is massive. I believe that should allow me to reach a second Shadow Ball as they reach the next foul play. So I farm up, go for it, and it appears to be a CMP tie. This is perfect, because this will allow me to get shield advantage for Shadow Weepinbell. And a Shadow Weepinbell with shield advantage is incredibly deadly. I'm going to bring in Regirock, go for the Stone Edge, I overfarm slightly, and I end up losing CMP. I should have just thrown it as soon as I got the move. Either way, I'm still going to be able to take out Sableye, and now it's all up to Shadow Weepinbell. In comes Shadow Weepinbell, in the back, they have Trevenant. Shields are down, I'm going straight for the Sludge Bomb. This is only neutral, but Sludge Bomb does massive damage onto the Trevenant, putting it into Bullet Seed farm down range. This is going to be close. I shield up, I get baited with the Seed Bomb. Trevenant able to reach another Seed Bomb. This is double resisted. Can Weepinbell survive it? Yes, we can, but we're very low. I farm up, and I reach the back-to-back Seed Bombs. Is this going to be enough to KO? First one, big damage. Second one should be enough to KO. Shadow Weepinbell taking down the Azumarill, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up the Dream Lead Regirock into Shadow Kanto Ninetales. Opponent save switches into Walrein, and I kind of have to stay in here. My backline does very poorly against the Walrein with an energy lead, so I'm just going to stay in here with the Regirock and fire off Stone Edge after Stone Edge. This is easily enough for the Earthquake. I shield last second, and it's the Earthquake, an absolutely massive shield. I overfarm, and I'm going to fire off the Stone Edge. Stone Edge is not enough to KO a non-Shadow Walrein, but it should get it into farm down range. I go for a third, and I end up losing CMP. I shield, only an Icicle Spear, and then I'm going to fire off the Stone Edge. This Stone Edge is going to get them low, and then I aggressive switch into Trevenant, and I'm able to farm down. I needed to aggressively switch, so I had the energy lead to be able to reach the Shadow Ball versus the Kanto Ninetales, as this will do massive damage, and I'm able to farm down. In the back, they have Tapu Fini, and this game is over, as Shadow Weepinbell absolutely destroys Tapu Fini. Seed Bomb is going to get that Tapu Fini quite low. Tapu Fini fires off the last second Surf. Surf is going to take out the Trevenant, but there is nothing stopping Shadow Weepinbell, able to farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, sending Regirock into Lickitung. Pretty decent lead, I'm just going to go straight for the Focus Blast here. And I have switched up Seed Bomb for Power Whip, as Power Whip is definitely the way you want to go on Weepinbell. I go straight for the Focus Blast, it connects, and then I save switch into Trevenant. Switching a Trevenant into a Lickitung may seem like a bit of a strange play, but Trevenant resists all of Lickitung's charge moves, so in effect, I can basically neutralize their energy. I'm able to grab a shield advantage, they go for the Power Whip, and then they're going to bring in their Charm Ninetales. I'm going to try and reach the Shadow Ball, but I die with the move. The new mechanic does not work as intended, and unfortunately, I lose all that energy. I'm going to bring in the Shadow Weepinbell. Shadow Weepinbell, despite resisting Charm, is taking quite a bit of damage here. I'm going to overfarm slightly and go for the Power Whip. Even though it's neutral, Power Whip is easily going to be enough to take down the Ninetales. They still have that low health Lickitung in the back that does have energy, but the question is, what is that final Pokemon? In comes Lickitung. Lickitung reaches a Body Slam, and I'm going to need to give up that final shield. I'm going to go for the farm down and hope that whatever is in the back is weak to Weepinbell, and they have a Medicham. Things not looking great for me. I'm going for the Power Whip. I get the shield, and I'm able to reach a second Power Whip. Let's see how much damage this does to Medicham. Massive damage, nearly doing 75% of its HP. Shadow Weepinbell is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Regirock able to reach the Stone Edge. This is resisted. Is it enough to KO? Yes, it is. And we get another close victory. Hopping to the next match, leading Regirock into Walrein. Opponent safe switches into Sableye, and honestly, this is a bit of an awkward situation for me as I don't have a great switch in response to Sableye. So I'm going to just stay in with the Regirock and try and output as much damage as I can while trying to get shields down. They land the foul play, and I'm going to fire off a second Stone Edge. Stone Edge is not enough to KO, but it will do a lot of damage to Sableye. Stone Edge is able to connect. Sableye overfarms and fires off a move. And honestly, I'm going to shield here because I want to try and get that final shield. If I'm able to get the final shield, shields down Shadow Weepinbell is an incredibly scary Pokemon to face. So I bring in the Weepinbell, and they're going to fire off a move. I will shield up as Foul Play would do massive damage. Back in comes the Walrein. Weepinbell able to outpace with the energy lead. This Power Whip is going to absolutely vanquish the Walrein. Let's see what they have in back. It's Shadow Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen goes for the farm down, and that's going to cost them. Weepinbell reaches the Power Whip, one-shots the Shadow Nidoqueen. Trevenant farms down the Sableye, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Regirock into Altaria. This is exactly where I want to see it. They save switch into Registeel, and I have a very nice response with my Trevenant. Trevenant, so long as I switch fast enough, is able to outpace Registeel to the first move, land the Shadow Ball, and that means that I will be able to dictate switch in this matchup. They fire off the Zap Cannon, I tank that, and even despite the attack drop, my next Shadow Ball will easily be enough to KO. I'm not risking an overfarm because I don't want to be hit with another move, and I'm able to take them out. Back in comes Altaria. Altaria able to farm me down before I reach a move. I bring in Regirock, go for the Stone Edge, and my opponent makes a fantastic catch, catching the Stone Edge onto their Shadow Swampert. That is really not great news for me. They're not able to reach an Earthquake here, so I'm going to let this go. Just a Hydro Cannon, but even a Hydro Cannon nearly takes out Weepinbell. We leave with a Sludge Bomb. Let's see how much damage this does to Altaria. Massive damage onto the Altaria as we're able to get them very low. But now, I'm in a tough spot. Altaria doesn't have a lot of HP left, but Lock On does basically no damage. I shield up, and I end up shielding a Sky Attack bait. That's really not great. I'm going to fire off the Stone Edge. I need to try and get to 3 Stone Edges here, because farming down does not look particularly likely. Tough call to make. I'm going to call the Sky Attack, and it's the Sky Attack bait. That's a huge call. I'm going to fire off the Stone Edge. Can I reach a third? This is going to be very close. Regirock trying to get to the Stone Edge. We die with the move, and we lose a heartbreakingly close game. Great lead in the next match, Regirock into Skarmory. Opponent safe switches into Sableye, and again, this is not a comfortable spot for me to be in. I fire off the Stone Edge, I get the shield, and this time I decide to play it differently. I bring in Shadow Weepinbell, and I'm going to fire off the Power Whip. Power Whip gets the second shield from Sableye, and now my job is just to double shield and hope that I can outpace them. I just need to reach another Power Whip before they reach the back-to-back foul plays. They fire off a move, but I should have enough energy for the Power Whip, and Weepinbell will easily win CMP, so I'm able to fire off the move. Power Whip is going to take down the Sableye and allow me to keep switch advantage. Opponent is waiting their clock, and now back in comes Skarmory. I can immediately bring in Regirock. They bring in Diggersby, and I panic switch into Trevenant. I definitely could have stayed in with Regirock, gone for the Focus Blast, but instead, I panic switch into Trevenant, and now I'm in a bit of an awkward position, because Trevenant does not have a great matchup against Diggersby. Diggersby, if it's XL'd, can tank 2 Seed Bombs very comfortably. I'm going to fire off the second Seed Bomb, but Diggersby tanks it no problem, and they're going to fire off another Fire Punch. This is not quite going to be enough to KO, but it does set them up for a farm down. The question is, can I reach a Stone Edge before they reach an Earthquake? Yes, I can! Regirock is incredibly spammy. Stone Edge takes down the Diggersby. Back in comes the Skarmory, and unless they're running Flash Cannon, this game should be over. I'm going to farm up. We are already over 1.5 Stone Edges. First one, able to connect, and I reach the second one, and that will be game over. Stone Edge will be taken down the Skarmory, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Regirock into another Azumarill. Same game plan as last time, immediate save switch into Trevenant, and my opponent responds with Sableye. I'm hoping that it's a very similar team to last time, because if it's Trevenant in the back, Shield Advantage Weepinbell should be able to put in a lot of work. This ends up being a CMP tie. This time, I decide to let it go. I have Shield Advantage here, so long as I can give Shield Advantage to Weepinbell, I should be in a pretty nice spot here. Back in comes Regirock. This time I'm going straight for the Stone Edge. No overfarming here. Stone Edge will be enough to take out the Sableye. Back in comes Azumarill. I am looking for the switch out. I'm able to bring in Weepinbell, but in the back, it is not Trevenant. It's the wrong ghost type. It is Alolan Marowak. Things are not looking great for me here. As I'm not able to reach a second Power Whip, my only hope is that they let this go, because they have so much energy on the Marowak. They shield, and I concede the match. Hopping to the final match, leading Regirock into yet another Sableye. We've seen this play out a couple times before, and Regirock does have a lot of play in this matchup. Regirock is going straight for the Stone Edge. Stone Edge, as we've seen, not enough to KO, but will do a ton of damage to the Sableye. Sableye overfarms a ton and lets me reach a second Stone Edge. They are farming up just a ton of energy. They're going to bank all the energy and save switch into Galarian Stunfisk. G-Fisk is not able to outpace the lock-ons from Regirock. Regirock lands the Focus Blast, and then I switch into Trevenant to absorb the energy. They're going to fire off a Rock Slide. That's totally fine, as I'm able to tank both Rock Slides and farm down. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to leave with a move, but I leave one short. And the Sableye has a ton of energy loaded. Back in comes Sableye. They threw a Shadow Claw and they allow me to win CMP. A big mistake by my opponent. I'm able to grab the final shield. And as we've seen, when shields are down, Shadow Weepinbell is an absolute menace. I'm going to be shielding up the foul play and then go for the Bullet Seed farm down of the Sableye. Sableye not able to reach another move. In the back, they have Registeel. I don't think Registeel is ready for how much neutral damage these Power Whips are going to do. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. And now some final thoughts on Shadow Weepinbell. First off, the amount of damage it outputs is absolutely incredible. Even when it's only neutral damage, Power Whip just hits like an absolute truck. The downside with Shadow Weepinbell is, of course, going to be the bulk. Unfortunately, it's not a particularly tanky Pokemon, meaning that it's not a Pokemon that's going to do particularly well against a lot of the bulkier meta options. So definitely a great Pokemon if you're looking to have some fun, but for climbing, there are definitely some better options. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.